evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the FTRL channel. It is round 5 of the Nations Cup tonight, coming to you from the circuit to the south in the Le Mans region of France. And we are back this week in the Nations cars after the Red Bull Juniors last week. And we are tearing around a circuit which this week should have held the 24 hours of Le Mans, unfortunately due to the coronavirus and subsequent lockdowns. They did hold a virtual race this weekend. FTRL tonight paying homage for the third time in 3 weeks. In fact, we've been at Le Mans. We've been at Le Mans in GT1 and GT2 the last 2 weeks. And now we rounded off with the Nations Cup as well. So into the second half of the season. And as it stands, Team Japan lead the way after 4 rounds. But it is a tight battle between France, UK and Germany, hot on their heels, with the USA doing a little bit of catching up to do. What can they do tonight? We shall see. Yes, the guys are on their way on track now. So while we wait for qualifying to start, quick rundown of the standings. Bring them up. Alright, so 4 rounds in and Team Japan lead the way on 85 points after strong results in 3 of the 4 rounds so far. Team Germany sits second on 77. On a good week in weeks 2 and 3. Team France, the early pace setters, are third on 74 points, and Team UK sit fourth on 71 after 2 strong results, both at their home Grand Prix at Goodwood in round 3 and then last time out at the Red Bull Ring in round 4. USA lagging behind at the moment, but of course they've still got their double points home race to come, and Le Mans should definitely be a circuit that suits the Viper at which they're in tonight. So we'll run down the cars and the drivers. Their way out in qualifying, so start at the top of the shop. Where's my position one's given to us, so there we go, change now. So first out on track is, no, it's not Donzo. Still giving me weird orders. Looks like it's going to be Ross. Yes. Ross for Team France are in the Citroën GR3 tonight. Car that is taking part in the GT1 and GT2 series this season. Both going strongly in that category in both championships. So home advantage to Team Citroën this week. Long straights here should suit the Citroën. It's very quick in a straight line. And then we've got CJ representing Team Germany. This week they are in the Audi R8. Beautiful looking car. But it is notably tricky to drive once the rear tyres go off. I've found, and a lot of people have said the same thing, mid-engine rear-wheel drive car. So very good through the corners. Stunningly beautiful car. Let's see what they can do tonight. Currently leading the charge after the championship leaders. T. Smith winner of the first 2 rounds on the podium last time out with Team France. He will be hoping to go strongly again here. And then we've got Aaron in the first of the Team United Kingdom cars. They are in the infamous McLaren F1 GTR, a car which has a long history with this circuit, winning the 24 hours in 1995. So a car with pedigree at this circuit. Aaron, of course, has announced he's on his wheel tonight. Oh, T. Smith also had his wheel tight for the first time, and went a little bit deep at Mulsanne corner. However, it's only his outlap, so he shouldn't be compromised too badly. Got a train going on here with blue flag in the second of the Team Germany Audis. Right up behind Tom and Aaron. Behind them we've got the 2 of the Team Japan cars. This week they are in the Lexus RCF. So we'll apologise. Another beautiful car, well, good handling car, but not the quickest in a straight line, so that may be a weak event for them. I was in Lexus for the FIA manufacturers race a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, and it is lacking in a straight line, the Lexus. It's a good all-round car, but top speed is not something it is blessed with. So it should be interesting to see what Frome switchback, we're running nose to tail here, so trying to get slipstream off each other for the straights. What we can do here behind them is the first of the Team USA cars. It is a debutant as well, City Posh Blue. Our current GT2 championship leader has stepped into the void. He makes his first outing tonight in the Viper. car which was first, second and third here a couple of weeks ago for GT1. So can they keep up that excellent record they had at the circuit? Behind them is Iggy, winner last time out for Team United Kingdom in the Liverpool Juniors. Strong couple of events from him, a second and a first so far in the 2 races he's contested. He's running around on track with his teammate Unsafe Release. So behind them you've got Donzo, who's also making his debut tonight. That's Rom, our usual Team Japan driver, is visiting family, so Donzo stepping in. Behind him we've got Junkie Sport, of course the man responsible for all the liveries in the Citroen. Behind him JP Greenwood, new to GT2, and this week makes his debut in the Nations Cup as well for Team Germany. So he comes down through the Ford chicane, and there's a big wiggle on the back of that Audi. Shows another one of these cars that you've really got to drive quite precisely. You can't throw it around like you can do some of the front engine cars, so we'll see how he gets on. Artemis Tocco behind him, also debuting for Team USA. Pagani just sitting out this one on the sidelines. What can Mitch do as he helps lead the Team USA charge, and Deluxe, his teammate, also running around in the Viper. So a few new faces, all new cars this season. Obviously each team can only run each car once in the Group 3 and Group 4s, so this will be the one and only time we see these cars. So first on track then, in the background you can see that CJ's picked up a penalty. Very easy to do here, numerous places on this circuit to pick up penalties which he'll need to bleed off. She's only likely to get in a couple of laps. And also be the first one down the Mulsanne straight, through the first of the chicanes. Brought in the early 90s to slow the cars down. It used to just be one very long straight all the way down to Mulsanne corner. Through the second chicane. Entirely through there, Ross. And out the second chicane, out heads around the kink. And they've got the slight crest which has been flattened off considerably since 1999, where Mercedes were competing for top honours with their CLR and had 2 instances of their cars taking off and flipping up over that crest on the approach to Mulsanne corner, which is at where Ross is now, before having one. Oh, big kick of oversteer as he gets on the power coming out of Mulsanne corner. Incidents of flipping their car into that hump, which resulted in one of the cars being pulled off, and then as they came down this part of the circuit here in the race, Peter Dunbrack, while following the GT1 Toyota through that corner there, took off and ended up in the trees on what is our right hand side as he comes down to Indianapolis. Very tricky braking zone, looking nice and tidy there through there, Ross. Drives up towards Arnage, one of the slowest but also one of the trickiest corners on this circuit. It's very slow, it's deceptively slow, but you need to, because it's very tight on the exit, so you don't want to clip in the wall. Then back on the power onto the straight as they now head down towards the Porsche curves. High speed approach, and then flicks uphill and right. Then 2 very quick left-handers, gets back over the first of them, out over to the wall on the right-hand side. Clicks the apex for the second one, back through the right-hander. Now comes down towards the end of the lap. Try not to run too wide on the exit there. No, it's all nice and tidy. And through the final kink into the Ford chicane. Stops and brakes, double chicane. Down to the third gear, and down to second for the second one. A bit more tighter, a bit tricky, some big curves there to avoid. Ross drives for the line, and our first flying lap is a 3 minutes 59.51. D. Smith instantly does a 56.7 to go fastest. CJ third, having to have to get rid of his penalty. He is dispossessed by his teammate Blue Flag, who is turned up down all the way by Eggy, who goes fastest of all. Coming through then. head on to what was likely to be their second and final flying lap here. It's a very long circuit, which means not going to get many laps in qualifying, so you've got to make them count. Coming through so after the first set of runs, he's still coming round. He's had an off, so no, he's just having a look at the light. Look, the last one to set a time then. So after the first set of qualifying runs with just one person left to set a time, it is Team UK on top of the pile with Iggy in that McLaren. Using its speed. A very strange simple driving position for the McLaren F1 GTR. A three-seater on the road car version. Of course, is the short tail version. The long tail version came out for 1997. Throwing down the Mulsanne straight, that McLaren blistering the kick in straight line. Currently he's on pole by 2.6 seconds. Oh yeah, they're stonking up that 54 flat from Iggy. T. Smith P2 after the first runs with unsafe release in the second of the McLaren's P3. Blue flag P4, it's in Germany. After Tocco. P5, Team USA. Making very well to get us off with the P6. Got them off somewhere further up the road. It is Megatron. The shot has gone straight on out the second chicane. So he's messed up there, trying to pick his way through the tyres. It's a slow and arduous process. I think I'll be in there for like Donzo sits P8 after the first qualifying run. It's probably got a slipstream off his teammate for a lot of that one. As DeLuc pops himself up into P9. Drops. Giving himself plenty of clear track there, so no benefit for the slipstream for DeLuc. But he popped himself into P9 ahead of Junkie Sport, who's in P10. Of course, Junkie Sport will be happy to go a little bit better than he did here in the GT2 race last week, where after messing up the pit entry, got reset to track with about 0.4 of a lap of fuel to get round an entire lap, and subsequently ran out of fuel and dropped to the very back of the field, so he'll be hoping no errors in pit entry this time. CJ, who picked up a penalty on his flying lap in a P11 after the first run. City Posh slipstreaming Aaron Taylor as he comes down the back straight. We're side by side into Indianapolis. That was brave. Aaron's coming back into the battling in qualifying. Aaron's sideways. Of course, for anybody who saw the GT1 race, of course, there was a bit of an incident there, that corner. Aaron speared his teammate after getting onto the dirty part of the track. JP Greenwood P13 after the first runs, ahead of the more experienced duo of Aaron and Switchback. It's P15 at the moment. First on track is T. Smith, I believe, so he'll be the last one to set. He'll be the first one to set. Second flying lap. Comes into the forward chicane. Last couple of corners. Grabs the curve nicely. On the drive. Is it going to be enough? It's not quite. He improves, but not enough. So T. Smith goes P2. Changes behind. CJ improved up to P6. We've got car in the wall there. It is blue flag. He's crashed at the final chicane. Backed out of it. Frome's gone P3 then, so Flying Frome's had an excellent final lap there. Despite being overtaken by Iggy on that lap, he's used Iggy's slipstream to pull himself around and puts himself up to P3. So a great effort there from the Team Japan driver. And so for these now P4. City Posh up to P5 there. Great effort from him. Of course, he won here in GT2 last week, so he's got good form around this circuit. He's carried that momentum over from last Thursday. Blue flag will be starting P6, didn't improve. Artemis Tocco P7, so two Team USA cars in the top 7. Aaron improved to P8 with that final run. Seated down to P9 then. I think he would have hoped for a little bit better, but long race ahead of us. Megatron the Shack coming around. Of course, having had that off, I don't think he's going to be improving. Donzo is starting P11, just ahead of Switchback, so the two Team Japan cars together on track. DeLuc currently P13. He's the last one on a flying lap, so we'll follow him round. through the Porsche curves. He is a 10th up, which will put him ahead of Switchback if he can maintain that advantage. Donzo's not far ahead either, so potentially a couple of starting positions to be gained here if he can keep it entirely. Just a bit of a correction there, looked like he was going to run wide, but gathered it up nicely into the Ford chicane. There's a couple of corners, got to attack the curbs, rides it nicely, good so far. Curves again, drives for the line. Does he improve? It's P13. No, he's lost it in the final sector there, so P13 for Deluxe with Junkie Sport and JP Greenwood riding off the grid then. So that is the grid decided. So everybody in the chat who's watching, who do we think is going to win this one? Team UK on pole with that McLaren, they're looking strong. 2 cars in the top 4, all 3 cars in the top 8. You know the Citroen is quick in a straight line and you can't count out those Vipers. Revs are up and away we go. And it's a good start from T. Smith. He's trying to drag up alongside Iggy on the run up to turn 1, but I think Iggy's got the jump. He swings across. Once it releases up to P3, Frome goes back to P5 into the first corner. Oh, City Posh across the curb on the inside there. He's shuffled out, everybody's scrabbling for room, for grip. The opening lap then, but Iggy has made the perfect jump from pole position. T. Smith tucks in behind, unsafe up into P3 already. So both he and City Posh jump Frome off the line. Looks like holding on to P6 ahead of Artemis Tocco. And holding on to P8 with CJ P9. Ross in P10. But Junkie Sport is a good start. He's up to P11 ahead of Donzo, Deluxe and JP Greenwood. As they charge down the Mulsanne for the first time. And it's Team United Kingdom who lead. That's about 177 on its own. First part there into the first chicane. As you were, blue flag there making a move on Frome into the braking zone. CJ also passed Aaron on that straight switch back up to P10, so he's had a decent start. As the 2 Team France cars move ahead of Donzo. Oh, Deluxe had a moment, so Deluxe off the back. Down the Mulsanne towards the second chicane. Top 3 are closing up. T. Smith now right onto the tail of Iggy. So charge down the Mulsanne into the second chicane. So the Citroen man is right on the tail of our race leader. However, he's brought unsafe release with him, so there's 2 Team UK cars. The Viper of City Posh is coming as well. And blue flag Frome is still very close to it. A massive slipstream train down the straights. So everybody should stay in touch. So when we get through down towards Indianapolis Arnage, the Porsche curves is when the field should start to spread out a little bit. Now Blue flag have a look at City Posh into Mulsanne corner. Don't think it's close enough this time though. Oh, T. Smith's wide. Coming out of Mulsanne corner, but unsafe release is not quite close enough. And he will drop in behind. And P6, Artemis Tocco, P7, CJ P8, Aaron P9, switchback P10. You've got Ross and Junkie Sport, Donzo 13th, JP Greenwood 14th, and Deluxe some way off the back. P15. So charge now down towards Indianapolis for the first time. He holds on, T. Smith. Anybody making a move? CJ coming in hot there and behind Artemis Tocco. Just not close enough this time though. Oh, in the background JP Green was deep into the gravel. It's going to cost him some time. He's dropped off the back of Donzo. Deluxe playing catch up already. Iggy continues to lead. So we come round to the Porsche curves for the first time. Still this massive train. Top 13 cars I think are in this still, so it's a big snake. Swing through the Porsche curves for the first time. That distinctive rasp from the McLaren. Head out towards the end of the lap. Still Iggy leads from T Smith, unsafe release. City Posh, blue flag's dropped off a little bit. He's got thrown back on his tail. Side by side, CJ and Artemis Tocco. He's coming to the Ford chicane. And he's got the inside and he takes the position. Good move. Aaron closing up at P9, switch back P10. Ross and Junkie Sport still nose to tail. Donzo on their tail. JP Greenwood dropped off the back after running deep at Indianapolis. And Deluc is closing on him. You can see quite a lot of contact to the front of his car. Meanwhile, change for P2. So unsafe release down the inside into turn 1. And he takes P2. So now it's the Team UK 1-2. Great start from Team UK, now running first and second. T Smith down to P3, he's got City Posh, he's got blue flag, he's got Throne. The rider behind him, the top 6 just making a bit of a breakaway now. CJ trying to bridge that gap, but the slipstream here is going to be critical down these straights. So we're Throne in the slipstream with blue flag, who's now having a look at City Posh. Meanwhile, T Smith coming back at unsafe release, takes the position away. Side by side behind blue flag and City Posh. City Posh has got the slipstream of the 2 ahead. And they're pulling back through. Blue flag has to drop in. Got a crying Pagani in the chat there because he's not on track this week. A great opportunity for Team USA and himself. He likes his track. He knows the Viper's good here. Still some races to go. I'm sure that Team USA victory is not far away. So there are 4 races. 3 nations have won races. Team France taking the opening 2 races. Team Germany won round 3. Team United Kingdom won round 4. So Team Japan and Team USA still to stand on top of the podium. Wiggy having a bit of a wobble there coming through the second chicane. He's just going to compromise his run to the straight. That's going to give T Smith the opportunity to have a look at the Mulsanne. Unsafe release has had a poor exit as well. He's now got City Posh closing into the Viper. And blue flag has got Throne tucked right under the rear wing of that Audi. He's going to have a look. He's not quite close enough this time. Coming out of Mulsanne corner for the second time. 14 laps ahead of us. Still Iggy leads from T Smith, unsafe release, City Posh. Blue flag and Throne are your top 6. They have broken away from the field. Chasing them hard is CJ's 2.8 seconds. He's also bringing Artemis Tocco, Aaron and Switchback. Yep, those 4. And a battle as well. We've got Donzo now on the attack of Junkie Sport. He's got ahead of Ross. Donzo now making some moves, though he's got a little bit hot there into Indianapolis. He's got to run a little bit deep. He's in the gravel. It's a big moment for the Team Japan man. Oh, he's lost it on exit as well. Has a half spin and all that hard work undone. That's him down to P13 again. Now he'll have lost the slipstream as well. So it's going to be a hard battle now for Donzo to get back on terms with those Citroens who are quick in a straight line. P14, Diluc playing catch up for P15, had an incident on that first lap at the first chicane. Back with your race leaders then. Top 4 just inching away a little bit. Blue flag's still there though, he's still within slipstream range, which is going to be key. He's to hang on to that slipstream. Oh, Iggy and T Smith having wobbles coming out of Porsche curve section. To the Ford chicane for the second time. 2 laps in the book. Race leader continues to be the mighty Iggy for Team United Kingdom. Ross tucked right under his rear wing though, not letting him get away. A little bit of a gap back then to unsafe release. He's got City Posh right behind him. Blue flag and Throne also still very much in touch. Under the Dunlop Bridge, sweep down through the S's. Down towards Terre Rouge, which is one of the trickiest corners on the track. It's obviously high speed as you get the run to the Mulsanne straight, so you've got to carry the speed, but very easy to pick up penalties here You run too wide on the exit. Possibly developing for P3 here. City Posh is close. Charge down the Morsine Straight for the third time. Posh is close. Is he close enough to have a look at the inside into the chicane ahead of them? T. Smith not quite close enough again either. Blue Flag had a good run there, closing into the back of City Posh into the first chicane, but not close enough to make a move. So round or Blue Flag has a big wobble there coming through the chicane. That's going to let Frome around the outside. Frome gets ahead. And Audi have got to drive it quite neatly. Doesn't like being thrown around. Look at all the mid-engine cars in this game. Caught that slide lovely, but he lost a bit of momentum. And Frome through. You can see Frome is closing on City Posh ahead of him. With the slipstream on safe release close to the back of T. Smith again, and this battle approaching places. Can he get his head closed in again now as they come through the second chicane? Is he going to be close enough for a look into Morsine Corner? He's closing. In the background then, Artemis Tocco and CJ Slick side by side. Safe release doesn't make a move this time. Background then, CJ just about holding on to P7 for the time being. Oh, he's gone deep though into Morsine Corner. He's going to let Artemis Tocco up the inside and grasps it with both hands. He's back up into P7 and Aaron right back on their tail again in that third McLaren. Switchback is just losing touch. He's just outside of slipstream range, which means that the top three now will put those three ahead of him. Sorry, will pull away from him in a straight line, and he will just fall away. Aaron being pulled along by at the minute the Viper. You can see he's lost 2/10 there on the slipstream on this game, about 1.5 seconds, so he is now out of slipstream range. So he closes up though through the corners. Alexis is good in the twisty stuff. He's got to make it count. He has got himself back into the second now, so he'll be back in slipstream range. Sport and Ross running 11 and 12, so points for the home nation. Also trying to get back on terms with them in P13, but he's off last time around. JP Greenwood also trying to close in as well, so he made that mistake on the opening lap. And then Deluc, who also fell foul of gravel drop on the opening lap, actually playing catch up as the top 6 come through towards the end of the lap again. The top 2 have just broken away a little bit now. Everybody's still in slipstream range. And oh no, fake for the pits there from Iggy. He just drove into the pit lane a little bit. I thought he might be on coming. Oh, T. Smith loses the back to the fourth chicane, and around he goes. And out of P2. So drama for. Oh, and he's been reset as well. So from P2 to P10. In the blink of an eye, and it's all gone wrong for the home nation at the final chicane. So our group of 6 for the lead is now a group of 5, and our current and reigning GT1 champion makes a huge error and drops the car at the final chicane. So drama on lap 3, and the home nation are now looking at a very poor haul of points in their double points race. Unless T. Smith could do something to claw it back, but now he's got a lot of work to do. Onto the back straight we come for lap 4. He is your race leader. So release in P2. City Posh P3, Frome P4, Blue Flag P5. He's still within slipstream range, so he will be closing back up. Can avoid having any more moments. Another watch through the chicane. Neat and tidy this time, seeing there's a little bit more tentative than the cars ahead of him. After a couple of tenths there, should gather that back up though in a straight line. Set up a fastest first sector though with all the slipstreams. You can see there he's dropped off in the chicane, so not comfortable at the moment. You can see he's now right on the fringes of the slipstream here. If he loses the slipstream, he is in trouble. So the top 4 will pull away. Oh, once for Leach went deep there. I think he almost hit the back of his teammate, in fact. And that's going to compromise his run. City Posh is now all over the back of his GT2 teammate. But he holds on for now. But that's opened that gap up to Iggy to nearly a second. However, they are now starting to close. Critically, Blue Flag has lost the slipstream in P5. Just evidence. Let's have a look at Frome's fuel. He's on probably a quarter of a tank. He's on an eighth of a tank. And look at the race leader Iggy. Iggy's on nearly a third, so a lot more fuel in that McLaren. That McLaren being very good on fuel. Master's behind him as well. Unsafe release in a very similar position. City Posh a little bit further back in terms of fuel. And JP Greenwood has lagged out of the room, so Team Germany down from 3 to 2, sorry. City Posh are right on the tail of the top 2. Look at how tyre wear is a difference. You can see Iggy being very kind on his tyres, his front right tyre. In a lot better shape. Now the Viper in P4. Frome doing an excellent job to cling on to the top 3. Lexus is not the best in the straight line, however he's definitely going to have to pit this lap, and chances are at least 2 of the cars ahead of him, if not 3, are going to be able to do another lap, so he will then be without slipstream unless he can find somebody to run with on track. So for Lee's having a bit of a wobble, so let's see who pits. Iggy does not, so for this does not, City Posh does not, but Frome does, as does Blue Flag, so those 2 might be able to run together. CJ in from P6, Aaron continues. P7, Artemis Tocker carries on as well. Switchback is in. T Smith is in. As does Ross, as is Junkie Sport, the look up to P13, and somewhere off camera Donzo has had a moment. He's down to P14, bails off into the pit lane. On to lap 5, and Mighty Iggy continues to lead the race. Clearing 0.7 of a second ahead of his teammate. Unsafe release. Compared to the McLaren GT2, however it is the McLaren 650S, not the F1 GTR. Finished P2 here last week, and we're looking to go one better. Of course, no individual drivers championship in this series, it's all about the nations. Just a question of will he play the team game, or will he battle Iggy for the race lead? We've got City Posh right on the tail, however he is dropping back just a little bit. You can see that he is not in as good a position fuel wise. Is he having to fuel save? Team UK looking in a very strong position here. 21st, 2nd and 4th, and P4, of course we've got pit stops in effect. So then it's Team UK versus Team USA. You've got the 2 Team UK cars 1st and 2nd, then you get Team USA Viper in 3rd, Team UK again in 4th, and Team USA in P5. Frome after his pit stop has come out in P6, and he's got Blue Flag with him. So these 2 can run together, drag each other along. Can they get back on terms with the McLarens and the Vipers? And then CJ and T Smith, who's trying to recover. Switch back in P10 ahead of Megatron Lechat. Look now P12 with Junkie Sport 13. Donzo P14. Now the Team UK cars have quite critically broken the toe on the run down to Indianapolis this time. We are out of slipstream range of City Posh, which means that he will now not have the benefit of being dragged along unless he can claw it back through the next couple of corners. You can see the fuel position is a lot worse for him, so the McLarens won't spend so long stationary. Is that going to put them well clear in the battle for the lead? Running nose to tail at the moment. Sweep through the Porsche curves. Jeffrey's all the way up to the wall there, sparks flying, that's how close he got. This lap they will peel off right. This we come on the brakes, nose to tail. Team UK flying the flag, and into the pit they come. Oh, and City Posh has had an accident coming into the pit lane. It's going to hold him up and cost him time. So top 5 are in. So where do they come out relative to Frome and Blue Flag, who pitted a lap earlier? City Posh there on 0 fuel, Artemis Tocco as well, 0 fuel, so stretching the fuel to perfection. Well, oh, in the background, Blue Flag's off. Overcooked it into the first part of the forward chicane, into the gravel he goes. Well, he's been reset as well, I think. So Frome comes round. Where are the race leaders? They're out and away. Can he get close enough to pick up the slipstream before they're up to full speed? On cold tyres, he is closing. He's closing. The McLarens are away, and he is critically just outside of slipstream range. Can he do anything in the next couple of corners onto the Moorsong Straight to get within slipstream range? He's tantalisingly close. But this could be the race here if he doesn't get the slipstream. He is close enough to get the advantage of it. Will it be enough though, because unsafe release is going to be getting a slipstream off Iggy, and you can see he's pulling away. This is critical for Frome's race if he wants to challenge for the win, and he's dropped outside. Can he make anything up in the first chicane? Still gets up to 2 seconds. The McLarens are flying in a straight line. Without that slipstream, he's dropping back. It's 2.4 as they come into the chicane. What is it on exit? Can he gain enough back? I don't think so. I think, yep, the McLarens are away and running. So Frome is now mired in no man's land in P3. City Posh, after his pit stop, is P4, just ahead of CJ, who's now leading the Team Germany charge. Blue Flag in P6. Got off through the final couple of corners. Really kicking himself for that, and he's got Aaron closing in as well now in the third of the Team UK cars. And the recovering T Smith in P8. They come down to the second chicane. Gets a good run through the chicane. He'll pull alongside. McLaren should just blast past in a straight line. Does indeed. Good flag drops back in behind him. Pick up the toe. You save a bit of fuel. And down into Moorsong corner for lap 6. Behind them, let's switch back down the inside of Artemis Tocco. So the Lexus man making moves. Spotted that straight line speed deficit, expect the Viper to come back at him though down the run down to Indianapolis. Behind them they've got Mogatron the Shat P11, they look up to P12, he has leapfrog Junkie Sport. Donzo trying to get back on terms still after that earlier off. Up at the front we have a change for the lead, unsafe release now on the point. He has leapfrogged his teammate. Still Frome trying to get back on terms with the two McLarens. Better on the brakes through the twisty stuff, so he can make some time back into the Porsche curves here. He should make a few tenths up. Can he get back within slipstream range? Gap is just a smidgen over 2 seconds. McLaren starts squabbling over positions. Could very well get back in touch. We saw that last week when T. Smith and Iggy started to battle. Very, very quickly got in touch. You can see there through the final part of the Porsche curves, he's taken about 3 or 4 tenths out of them, and he is closing. So what can he do through the Ford chicane? A little bit wide through the first part. He's hanging on to it. But again, he's so close to slipstream. He's 1.59. Just goes up a little bit up the start finish straight into the Dunlop chicane. Can he make the time up through here? Again, you can see there coming a couple of tenths now. He's back. He'll be picking it up now a little bit. But he's just so close. Not quite close enough. Again, takes a few tenths out of them through the yeses. In fact, now he's taken quite a few tenths out of them now. He'll be getting a much better slipstream now. As he closes up, he's up by a second on the current fastest lap. And he's within a second now, so he should get a decent slipstream here. So despite McLaren's slipstreaming each other, he should now be able to close back up. So this UK monopoly on P1 could soon be becoming a three-way fight again. Frome is closing in. They'll just pick up a half-second penalty there coming out of Terre Rouge. Lead swaps again. Iggy back into the lead. First chicane. Driving out again though. City Posh holding off. CJ still within slipstream range though, so it's not over. T. Smith up to P6. That's cleared Aaron and switched back. Blue flag down to P9 then, so he's had another moment somewhere. He's now got Artemis Tocco right on his rear wing. Trying to just shout P11 to look on the final point scoring place. One safe release is very wide there coming out of the second chicane. A big wobble there. That's going to give Iggy the run. Go side by side. Iggy will retake the lead into Morsan corner. Doesn't fight it, but Frome is ever closer. He's back within half a second, so Frome is back in this battle now. But just look at the difference in fuel. So Iggy's on nearly 3/4 of a tank still. So release a little bit less, and then Frome is on maybe a third of a tank, maybe just over a third of a tank. So he's going to have to be pitting again soon. He's having to work harder to try and catch up. The top two being able to stretch their fuel out, so they might get away with one less pit stop. Looking very good for McLaren at the moment. City Posh and CJ continuing to battle over P4. CJ just getting rid of some penalty there. Let's come down into Indianapolis for that was 7th time. T. Smith trying to close up as well, but he is burning through the fuel at the moment to try and get back in touch with the top positions. Oh, big kick of oversteers. He gets on the power coming out of Arnage. Behind him, Aaron and Switchback battling over P7 and P8. Blue flag tucked in behind him in P9. Artemis Tocco in P10. Megatron the Shat P11. He's racking up the penalties there. Is that 5 or 6 seconds? 6 seconds of penalties, Ross. So he's going to start losing some of that at some point. Deluc has 0.3 of a second behind him in P12. He's going to be pitting this lap. Gishbot P13 and Donzo P14. He will be in this lap. He's on the red line. So coming to complete the end of lap 7. We are at half race distance. 7 completed, 7 to go. Frome gets a good run on unsafe release out of the final corner. With a big slide there. Goes side by side up start finish straight. Drops back in again, it's not quite close enough. to the Dunlop Bridge. Down through the S's. You can see how much tighter a line Frome can take there through the S's as they gallop. Again looks at the inside. Coming into Tet Rouge, there's contact there, I think, side by side. And Frome is up into P2. However, all this battling is letting Iggy just escape a little bit now. He's almost out of slipstream range again. However, without anybody to pull him along, Frome should, if he can pick the season, but got closing, but still Iggy's pulling away there. Also, Philly's coming back at him. Sides his way back up into P2. McLaren responds. He does start closing. Oh, he's got in hot though to the first chicane. Oh, just about pulls it up. Gap for the lead 1.2 seconds. However, into Felice's car. Opens equal in performance to that of the one ahead of him, but with a slipstream he should start closing up. That gap is coming down again. With the back City Porsche holding onto P4, just extended that gap a little bit to CJ to 1.1 seconds. CJ with the slipstream is closing. And is up into P6 now. T-Swift having pitted. Switchback and blue flag behind him. Optimus Tocco, P9. He has lost touch a little bit with the cars ahead of him. Trying to get back in touch. Ross currently the lead Citroen with T-Smith having just pitted. It's coming out again in P11. Dillop P12. Yuki Sport P13. And Dunzo P14. So into Mulsanne corner. On so Felice just inching away from Frome again. Down the straight there, he's got the slipstream of his teammate, and that's pulling away from Frome. They've lost the slipstream now, but into the braking zone. Expect to see the Lexus close in again. Again, the Team UK cars starting to work together, and they're just inching away. However, this is the part of the lap where the Lexus is stronger through the Porsche curves. However, he's going to have to be pitting this lap by the look of it, so you can see the McLaren's still got half a tank of fuel. So they're likely to only need to do one more pit stop. Frome is likely to have to do two. So it's looking very good for Team UK. Porsche continuing hold P4, but CJ is back on his tail, indicator flashing. But he will be pitting this lap. City Porsche will be carrying on by the look of it. So he's going to try and eke out another couple of laps, because the pit stop is a very long pit here. Frome pits. That's the CJ. Porsche carries on. And he's still on over a third of a tank. He will carry on as well. Blue flag peels off into the pits. That's the switchback. To Miss Tocco. Comes through. Now which one the Shep will be in this time. T. Smith coming around P11. Obviously in that lead battle early on, but a mistake at the full chicane on lap 2. He finds himself, as the pit stops shake out, he'll come in P7. Throw him on his way. So Frome is out in P6. Now can he get on to the slipstream of Artemis Tocco in that Viper? Viper not as quick as the McLaren in a straight line on its own. So Frome can have a good couple of corners into the braking zone for the first chicane. Slipstream might well drag him back into contention, but everybody likely to have to make one more stop. be fighting for P3. But he may be fighting to get that back, because obviously the Vipers probably at least got maybe one, maybe two more laps in it, so he might be picked to the end of lap 10, in which case he can then sprint to the flag. Frome's got to stop as well, so top two look fairly decided for Team UK. But P3 is very much up for grabs. City Posh currently holding it. Can Aaron make it a 1-2-3 for the United Kingdom? It's the first time we've seen that. Of course, Team France held 1, 2 and 3 the early running outside Degner in the opening round of the championship. No team has dominated, which is exactly how we hoped it would be. Frome has caught up to Artemis Tocco, so he's now using the slipstream to pull himself along or save a bit of fuel. But he's going to go down the inside into the Mulsanne corner. And through goes Frome up into P5. CJ, having pitted, now running on his own P7. His teammate in P8 with T. Smith right behind him. Team France car working with his GT1 teammate. Switch back in a lonely P10. He's nearly 7 seconds in arrears of T. Smith, the blue flag. And he's got 8 seconds back to Deluc, who is steadily chipping his way up the order after that opening lap misdemeanor. Got the two Citroens chasing him, Megatron Chat and Junkie Sport. And Donzo not quite recovered after that earlier off. Obviously the Lexus is not quite so good on fuel compared to the Citroen and the cars around him. So he's struggling to get back on terms. He'll be hoping for an accident. Meanwhile, back with your race leader, and looking very comfortable for Team UK at the moment, running first and second. Gap 2 seconds now, so Eggy's opened that gap up. Of course, he won last time out in the Red Bull Juniors. Make it 2 in a row for Team UK. Aaron pits from P4. So Aaron bails out a little bit early. Going to try and do some fuel saving to get himself to the end. Tocco goes through, CJ goes through, blue flag and T. Smith should go through as well. Where does Aaron filter back out? Eggy now just opening that gap up as a race leader. He's so comfortable in P2. He's 8.4 seconds ahead of City Posh, making his debut tonight and leading the Team USA charge. It's a great effort from our GT2 Championship leader. Now somewhere Iggy's either had a moment or he's backed off to let unsafe close up, because unsafe just closed that gap by 1.5 seconds. Are these two working together? So fuel and slipstream. As mentioned before, no individual championship, so it doesn't matter which way around these two finish. Frome into P4. He's closed about 3 seconds to the race leading duo in this stint. The question is though, where will he come out relative to City Posh, who would be in this lap? That'll be his final stop. Frome's still going to make his final pit stop though. However, he will not be stationary for quite as long. Where will Mitch, aka Artemis Tocco, come into this? P6, blue flag P7. T. Smith still behind him in P8. Aaron's P9, closing in on them. But his potentially is his final stop. So if he can get onto the back of those two, He then should be able to save enough fuel to get him to the end. Switchback continues on his lonely way. Some good early battles, but since the field has spread out without slipstream, Lexus has just dropped away a little bit. P10. Diluc and Megatron Lechat battling hard, but Megatron Lechat continue to rack up the penalties. 6.8 seconds now. Ooh, if at least a bit wide there coming through. Arnage. Looks like our race leaders will be in this time around. As well, City Posh in P3. So that will be their final stops. Look in the background then, can we see Fro? Now he's still coming up to Arnage. On to P4. Optimus Tucker will be in this time as well. Continues to hold off the Citroen Charge. On to 2 points for P11. He's got Megatron the Shatter right behind him. Junkie Sport not too far back either. As our race leaders pit. Push in as well. Flying frame will come through. Will he jump the McLarens? Or will they be on their way? City Push again there, down to 0 fuel, so getting it absolutely spot on. Froome comes up the start-finish straight. Where are the McLarens going to come out? Here they come. So Froome will sweep into the lead for the first time. Iggy has really opened that gap up in the pits there as well, look. He's putting slightly less fuel than his teammate. CJ now P4. City Posh is going to come out in P5, or is he? Because blue flag's coming through at speed. And he sweeps up into P5 into the Dunlop chicane. T. Smith's there, there's Aaron as well. I think Aaron's the one that City Posh is battling. So he's come out ahead of his rival. The question is now, where does Froome come out relative to City Posh? City Posh in traffic. Froome has got clear track but no slipstream. Froome is doing it on his own pace, while City Posh has got the slipstream of the Team Germany Audi R8 ahead of him. You can start closing that gap. The gap to the race leaders is 2 seconds between Iggy and Froome. Between Iggy and Unsafe is 4 seconds. However, he is 4 seconds ahead of CJ. We know Froome has to stop after CJ. So Froome is your race leader. Oh, blue flag's wide at the first chicane. Oh, contact with Aaron as he comes back on. So City pushes through. He's picked up 3.7 seconds. Apparently there was that contact in that first chicane. Motoring on, so not quite sure what's happened there. That's stunted Aaron's progress as well. He's battling City Posh for that final podium place. That could be key. Also, let's Switchback close up quite considerably. Now he's been very lonely in P9. Now he is within slipstream range of the McLaren. Artemis Tocco now replaced Diluc in front of Ross. So he's still staring at the back of a Viper, but it is a different one. Diluc has pitted for the final time. Right just behind Junkie Sport. Interesting, so Junkie Sport has managed to jump on the Viper, which will be for position. both behind Donzo, but Donzo will have one more stop to make. D. Smith now right on the back of City Posh. City Posh already had the penalty, so blue flag apparently just dropped it on his own. Again, that Audi R8 is a beautiful car to look at, but it is a tricky beast to drive. So I find out with the Lamborghini mid-engined rear-wheel drive cars are not your friend. City Posh pushing so hard there, right out to the edge of the circuit. As he sweeps into the Porsche curbs, he's trying to close that gap to the race leader, who is in the pits, so from pits for the final time. That put Iggy back into the race lead. So they come around to start lap 12 and 14, so 3 laps to go, including the one that they're on. So Philly's back up into P2, CJ's in as well. So where is Frome relative to City Posh, who's coming through the final part of the Ford chicane now? Is he going to jump in? Is Frome going to come out? So is he going to be behind? How far behind? There comes Frome. He's currently in P5. I don't think anybody ahead of him is going to have to stop. So Frome's fuel tank is going to cost him here. He's driven superbly well to be in that battle for the lead for so long. But the fuel economy of the McLarens and of the Viper has definitely hurt the Lexus here, which is not quite as good. He's got Aaron in his sights though. Can he do anything about closing him down? Aaron's still got 4.5 seconds of penalty, which he's going to have to shake off before the end of the race. Aaron has none. P4 is on the cards. City Posh being 6 seconds up the road from Aaron, so big gap between those two. And now got held up by blue flag rejoining last time around at the first chicane. What can Frome do to break up his Team UK monopoly at the front? City Posh driven excellently for P3. Equipping himself very well since he's come into GT Sport. Joined halfway through GT2 last season. Got a podium on his debut weekend. And after a poor first round in GT2 has been a revelation. Especially in the Group 3 category. Oh, Aaron sideways there through the second chicane. Looking squirrely, Frome closing in. Can he get back within the slipstream range? CJ in P6, Artemis Tocco P7. Switchback is P8 ahead of blue flag. Dropped down after getting into some slides in that Audi. The switchback has jumped. His rival T. Smith in P10. He'll be very disappointed with that, seeing where he was in the opening few laps. Really expected him to be taking the fight to the McLarens. Stay through the final chicane. Drops him down to the position he finds himself in now. But all Team France cars in a line. 10th, 11th and 12th. Junkie Sport's still battling. He's got Deluc still chasing him down. Donzo unfortunately has not had a great race by his standards. That mistake at Indianapolis on lap 2. Really hampering his cause. Lost the slipstream and not been able to get back in touch since. At the front, Team UK looking very good. Iggy leading by 3.7 seconds from unsafe release. They are 13 seconds clear of City Posh in third, who himself is extending his gap over Aaron, who's fourth. So the chances of a 1-2-3 for United Kingdom looking slim, barring a mistake from the Team USA driver. This will represent their strongest finish of the season, I believe. Of course, So I'll be hoping for a strong race when we go to their home round. Through the final chicane he comes. Aaron meanwhile has now got Flying Throne on his tail. Here's the final chicane. Can you see that unique central driving position? And Frome is going to make the pass here on Aaron up the start finish straight, is he? Does indeed. Aaron trying to shake off some penalty. He lets Frome go up into P4. CJ meanwhile is now having to start to look in his mirrors on the P6, but there is Artemis Tocco. Seconds worth of penalty, but he is trying to close down on Team Germany. Can he put two Team USA cars in the top 6? He's got 2 laps to figure out a way to do it. It's through Tete Rouge onto the Mulsanne straight again. Switchback continuing to hold on to P8, keeping blue flag at arm's distance outside of slipstream range, which is key. Team Smith now being caught by his teammates, so the Team France cars in flying formation. Now behind them, Deluc has jumped ahead of Junkie Sport somewhere, so Deluc has caught and passed him. Really the other way around after the pit stops. Sport jumped Deluc in the pit stops, but Deluc has taken away the final points paying position again. Very hot there into the first chicane. Bit of a slide on. Run over the curbs there. Will that be another penalty? It was indeed. It's back up to 1.5. Front, however, merrily on their way. McLaren 1-2, United Kingdom 1-2, Iggy and Unsafe Release 1 and 2. And Arnage for the penultimate time, not towards the Porsche curves for the penultimate time. It's been very easy for the McLaren boys since they managed to pull away. Have the advantage in straight line speed, also have the fuel tank to go with it. The personal best there as he comes through the Porsche curves. Unsafe Release also with a personal best there. Flying Throne though has the fastest lap, 56.9. His challenge is in vain. City Posh now 9 seconds ahead of Frome. Still got Aaron keeping him honest, so P4 isn't nailed on. Aaron can come back at him on the final lap. CJ continues to hold off Artemis Tocco. Some more penalties. The switchback has also opened that gap up to blue flag. It's now 3.7. So championship leading nation currently sitting P4, P8. The circuit they were not expecting to go well at. I think they'll be quite happy with that return of points. Oh, Size had another moment through the Ford chicane. Gets reset again. However, he does have a big gap back to T. Smith, so it's not going to cost him any positions, but it's cost him some time. 7 seconds there, so across the error, but stopped his charge to try and catch back up the switchback onto the final lap, and they could just be happy to get that car home. Look, has managed to drop Junkie Sport in the battle for the final point. Junkie Sport is dropping back towards Donzo, in fact, here, so Donzo might yet take P13 away. We shall see. But your race leader on his final lap is the mighty Iggy for Team United Kingdom through the chicane for the final time. His teammate, unsafe release, also through. Looking very good for Team United Kingdom, for the German representing Team United Kingdom. He finishing second where he did in the GT2 race. Behind his teammate, another P2 from that. I think unsafe release has managed to pick up a win yet this season in GT2, which I think will be frustrating to him. He's second in the championship, but has yet to win a race. He's been outshined by his teammate on a number of occasions. And again today, he's going to play second fiddle to Iggy, but good points for the team, and that is the aim of the game in the Nations Cup. City Posh, a distance third, but I think he will be very happy with his day's work, making his debut tonight. That's P3 Frome all the way on to P4. He's managed to drop Aaron a little bit now, so looking fairly secure in P4. Aaron P5, CJ continues to keep that gap to Artemis Tocco. Viperman not able to get within slipstream range. On the final lap now, he's also quite low on fuel, so don't know if he'll be close enough to launch an attack switchback. Solid drive to P8, I think I'll be happy with that. Blue flag with that very twitchy Audi, holding on to P9. And T Smith is now under attack from Deluxe for P10. And Deluxe sweeps around the outside, so T Smith is struggling. Drops down, although Deluxe got a little hot to Mulsanne corner. That's going to put T Smith right back on his tail up the inside. Bit of contact. We get drive off the corner. Team France in their home race. Currently battling over 10th place for their lead driver. Not where he hoped he'd be. Man, exactly where he wants to be is the mighty Iggy. He crosses the line, and Team United Kingdom pick up the win at Le Mans. And not only that, it is a 1-2 for Team United Kingdom, with unsafe release coming home P2. City Posh through the Ford chicane for the final time in the Viper. Great drive from him, backs up his GT2 win here last week with a P3 in the Nations, gets rid of his penalty. Frome closes in at the end, but P4, great drive from Frome there in a car which was not suited to this circuit. Aaron slowing to rid himself of his penalty over the line. That's P5 for him. CJ comes home P6. Has managed to really open that gap up to Artemis Tocco on the last lap. P2 will get rid of his penalty. Back to the line, he'll take P8. Blue flag will be P9. Good pace early on, but a couple of slides with that Audi. Backs it across the line. Finish off, the battle for P10 is going to work in favour of Deluxe for Team USA. He comes home P10 after that opening lap accident. T Smith very disappointed with P11. And a battle for P12. The final lap between Donzo and Junkie Sport. Junkie Sport's gone off and been reset. And somewhere along the lines, Megatron the Shat has had enough. It's down to P14. So Donzo comes through and takes the final point on the final lap into the final corner. In the background, smoke is flying as Ross comes out of the final corner backwards. And a race to forget for the home nation. It's P14 France. So there we have it then. Team UK are victorious in Le Mans. Iggy taking the victory from unsafe release, so 1-2 for Team UK, and they have thrown themselves right back into this championship fight for a poor couple of opening weeks. Is victory tonight for Team UK. So there we have it then. That is the end of the Nations Cup for action, but as always it just kickstarts FTRL action for the week ahead. So Tuesday's racing is done. Tomorrow we have the final of round 13, or season 13 sorry, of the F1 Championship, rounds 19 and 20 from Monaco and from Azerbaijan. So two street circuits are very different in nature. Will Zumpy claim his first F1 title in FTRL with the F2 title, or Div 2 title was decided last week. He can claim the Div 1 title tomorrow. On Thursday we're back with GT2 action, this week from Sardegna B and from Laguna Seca. And then we're back with GT1 on Friday, this week from the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit, and then the Circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona for GT1. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. Do please give the stream a like, it helps us out a lot, and we appreciate everybody who tunes in and gives us a like. Back again tomorrow at 8 o'clock for the F1 action, and every night for the rest of the week. So thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we will see you tomorrow for F1 and GT2 and GT1 for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us, and good night.